So what age do you start getting into the streets and like really getting involved in that aspect of it?
Wow, just being around, niggas in my neighborhood, like 12 years old, is when like it really hit, like like really on my, like when I turned 12 years old, I like really started, like before I hit 12 years old, I was always having fights in my neighborhood, fighting niggas my size, you know what I'm saying? Like for my age, I was always the biggest one out of my age group. So I'll be, locking ass with niggas that's like 15, 16 years old. And I was whipping them out. They were like, yo, little 12, 13-year-old niggas over here whipping niggas out. So the older niggas in my neighborhood was like, yo, little niggas official, let's cuff them. You know what I mean? Like, shout out to my son David Benitez, Green Eyes, Villa, Dre. You know what I'm saying? Niggas from my neighborhood, Monk. All the old school niggas from my neighborhood that saw that animal in me and was like, yo, we gonna cuff him. And they just showed me the ropes, you know what I mean? My man Soda, rest in peace. Oh, my God. So many I can mention. Travis, my right-hand man, Casper, that I used to run with. We turned out a team together. We did everything together. You know what I'm saying? He stepped over my house. I stepped over his house. This was my heart in human form. Like this, if I could think of anybody that was like, if I had a twin and I could take that nigga and put him right here, it'll be him. You know what I'm saying? So we was just around the way doing missions, man. Just doing missions on mission time. Anybody could fucking get it at that time. You know what I mean? And we talking the mid-90s, this when the Bloods, the war with the Latin Kings and the Bloods spilled out from the prison system onto the streets and shit was hectic. Niggas was getting caught on both sides.
Right. And we gonna get into that. But at this time, obviously we're talking about anything that we're talking about is past the statute of limitations already, right?
Yeah.
But were you getting into like robberies or like you joined your uncle's business?
So before I joined my uncle's business, I wasn't really getting into robberies, but I used to break into cars all the time. Me and my man Cassie used to break into cars, break into niggas' apartments. I remember my man Ray, my man Chong from my block from Wolf Street. So when I moved from Milford, from North Yonkers to South Yonkers, I hung out on my block was Van Cortlandt, Wolf Street, and Lawrence Street. Like everybody from Yonkers know about Lawrence Street. Like that's Lawrence Street and Elliott was like the two main streets on the south side where shit was happening at. You know what I mean? And I was on the Lawrence Street side. So I grew up with all the kids from Wolf Street and Lawrence Street. And like everybody knows that if you came from that little area, you was a bad little motherfucker or you was into some shit, basically. You know what I'm saying? In order to survive in my neighborhood, you had to show that animal tenacity. Or niggas was gonna bully you all the time. You couldn't be outside, and I was outside every fucking day. You know what I'm saying? Like my mother's out there, I'm outside till 11, 12 o'clock at night every day. 12 years old, 13 years old, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm either on my block right here on Wall Street, in the dead end, or up the block on Lawrence Street, hanging out with them, doing dumb shit with them. Or like I used to, Wall Street or Lawrence Street, back and forth from both blocks, like on my bullshit. You know what I mean? Like whatever we was gonna get into, I was getting into it.
So you was down for whatever at that time, pretty much.
If you wasn't, niggas was gonna stab you. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas was gonna be like, yo, bro.
But did your mom know what you were getting into at that time, or she was just in survival mode that she was just putting her head down and working and trying to make ends meet?
My mom knew 100% what I was getting into. My sisters was telling me like, yo, this Danny's outside doing this, doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't be controlled. My mother couldn't even control me. You know what I'm saying? Like I already had it.
She tried to talk to you about it though?
Yeah, my mother used to fuck me up. My mother used to fuck me up. You crazy? I used to go sleep.
But that wasn't
my sister
enough.
lived on Lawrence. My sister lived on Lawrence. So I used to live a block away from, my mother used to live a block away from my sister. So all the time I used to sleep over my sister's house. You know what I'm saying? So mommy will walk through the house. All right, stay left. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to my sister's house. My sister's 10 years older than me, my oldest sister. So she already had her own apartment. You know what I mean? She lived in the south side too. You know what I mean? So I was outside catching wreck. I just go to my sister's house. My sister ain't know what the fuck was going on. You know what I'm saying? My sister's busy with her kids. She's just home chilling.